with another budget commander list. And today we're going to be playing Simic, and our commander is Lonis Cryptozoologist. So it's a 2-mana commander, Simic, that says whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield you can under your control, investigate. So every time we play a non-token creature, we're going to create a clue token. And Lonis has a really cool ability where whenever you sacrifice X clues, the target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library, and you may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield under your control, and then that player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. So basically, the general strategy of this deck is just to steal your opponent's best cards. Since we have so many ways to create clue tokens, this deck is just fun because you end up playing your opponent's best cards, and you can continuously do this almost every single turn that comes around to you. So let's get into the creature base. So we have to play Academy Manufacturer. It is a little bit more on the expensive side as a $9 card, but it says if you create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each. So this is real cool because if we make a clue, we get each one of these. You get a clue, a food, and a treasure token. And if we're creating multiple of these, we're going to get all of these as well. So as far as creature ramp goes, we have Birds of Paradise, Elvish Mystic, Fine Horn Elves, Landward Elf, and let's see if I'm missing anything here. That's about it, unless I already said Elvish Mystic. Then we also have creatures like Briarbridge Tracker. So whenever it ETBs, it investigate, and as long as you control a token, it gets +2/+0. So it's a 4/3 for 2. We play the Briarbridge Patrol. So whenever it deals damage to one or more creatures, we investigate. And at the beginning of our end step, if we have sacked 3 or more clues this turn, we can just play a creature card for free from our hand. For counterspell creatures, we are playing Frilled Mystic, which is double green, double blue with flash. And when it ETBs, you may target counterspell. And then we have a similar creature in Mystic Snake, which is one of any color, green and 2 blue with flash. When it ETBs, counter target spell. We're playing Kappa Cannoneer because it has improvise, so we can use our tokens to help play this card. It does have Ward 4, and it's a 4/4. And whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under our control, we put a 1/1 counter on it, and then it cannot be blocked. We have Junkwinder in here just for affinity for tokens. And then whenever a token enters the battlefield under control, we can tap target non-land permanent opponent controls, and it doesn't untap during the next untap step. We have Muldrifter in here just so we can play it for its evoke cost for 3, so we can draw 2 cards. I thought Volo would be a cool addition to this deck. So Volo says whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, you can copy that spell. We also play the Elvish Visionary for draw. We play the Graph Mull. I did have a game with Graph Mull where I copied it with Glasspool Mimic, and I was getting tons and tons of life. So like in one turn I sacked 4 clues and I had 2 of these guys out. So I believe that's 24 life that I gained in one turn. Galagreators is just a very good card because whenever another creature ETBs, we can either put a counter on it, make a tap treasure, or gain 2 life. And yeah, and there's some other cards too that we don't really need to look at right now, but I will talk about the Teething Wormlet. It's just a really good 1-drop that has Death Touch if we control 3 or more artifacts. And then whenever an artifact ETBs under our control, we gain a life. And if it's the first time this ability resolved, you put a 1/1 counter on it. And then we also play Thought Monitor because it has affinity for artifacts. And when it ETBs, it draws us 2 cards. As far as sorceries go, we're playing a few ramp spells in Cultivate, Kodama's Reach, and Rampant Growth. And then we're playing a bunch of cards for, well, playing 2 cards here for removal, which is the Hard Evidence, which is 1 blue. Oh no, it's not a removal card, sorry. But we do make a crab, a 0/3 crab for 1 blue, and then we investigate. So we make a clue. But the Raven form is in here, so we can foretell it for 1 blue. And then for 2, we can exile target artifact or creature. And then its controller makes a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying. And again, for draw, we have Thoughtcast, which has affinity for artifacts. It will draw us 2 cards. And the Reverse Engineer, which also has Improvise, will draw us 3 cards. As far as instance, we're playing Beast Within as removal. We are playing Confirmed Suspicions. It is 5 mana, but it will counter a target spell. And then we investigate 3 times. We have Counterspell, Disruption Protocol, so we would have to tap an untap artifact or pay 1 to counter target spell. Growth Spiral is here just to draw us a card and put a land onto the battlefield. Negate to counter target non-creature spell. Pongify to get rid of a troublesome creature. Reality Shift, which is another removal card to exile a creature. And then its controller manifests the top card of their library. We play Resculpt to exile target artifact or creature. And then its opponent makes a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. And then finally we have Spell Swindle, which it's 5 mana to counter target spell. And we create X colorless treasure artifact tokens, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And they have sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And then for artifacts, we're playing the Signet, Command Sphere, Welfar Stone, Inspiring Statuary, which gives our non-artifact creature spells Improvise. Investigation Journal to draw cards, Nettlecyst just to pump up a creature, Simic Signet, Soul Ring, Swift Boots, Tamio's Journey. So at the beginning of our upkeep, we will investigate, and if we sack 3 clues, we may search our library for any card, put it in our hand. Tamio's Logbook becomes 1 blue most of the time for us to draw us a card for 1 blue. And Thought Vessel is just to protect us in case we have more than 7 cards in our hand after our end step. For enchantments, we're going to be playing Ongoing Investigation. So whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you investigate. And then for a green and a colorless, we can exile a creature card from our graveyard to investigate and gain 2 life. Trail of Evidence, whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we'll investigate. Wovenwall Mysteries, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. And then whenever you sacrifice a clue, you may create a 1/1 white human soldier. And then we have Weirding Wood. So it's enchant land for 3. When it ETBs, we investigate, and then the land gives us any 2 mana of 1 color. And then finally, we have Wilderness Reclamation, because why not? It's a 4 mana spell, a 4 mana enchantment. That's only $2. At the beginning of our end step, we can untap all our lands. And then finally, this is the mana base, so we're playing Botanical Sanctum, Castle Vantress to Scry, Commander Sphere, Deep Dream Root Cascade, Forest, Hinterland Harbor, Island, Rejuvenating Spring, Rivendell, just because we can pay 2 to scry 2 if we control a legendary creature. Simic Growth Chamber, Temple of Mysteries, the Shire to create as food tokens, Tranquil Thicket, either as a land or to cycle away to draw a card, and then Yamimaya Coast. And then these are the tokens we generate. So we make an ape, a beast, a bird, a clue, a crab, an elemental, food, human soldier, a manifest token, a Phyrexian Germ, and a Treasure. And looking at our mana curve, we curve out at 2 and also 3. So we do have a bunch of 2 and 3 drops, so it doesn't take us too long to get our game plan going. And as far as mana symbols, we are evenly split between green and blue at 46%. And then for colorless, we have 18%. And then that is it. So this deck is a little bit on the more expensive side, so it's going to cost you anywhere between 110 to 120. But it is a fun deck to play. There's a lot of synergy here, and you're just gonna have a blast just taking your opponent's best cards with Lonis and then beating them with their own cards. So I hope you enjoyed this deck tech. This video will be up on YouTube in a few minutes. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good night.